Shipyard bosses were fairly and squarely to blame for the calamitous delays and costs overruns at Ferguson Marine, it has been claimed. Kevin Hobbs, chief executive of Caledonian Maritime Assets Ltd, CMAL, the government body which placed the order for 2 new ferries at the yard, also said he was desperately upset and desperately concerned that they were still not ready. An inquiry into the debacle by Holyrood's Rural Economy and Connectivity Committee will begin hearing oral evidence next week. Ferguson Marine Shipyard, which was acquired by tycoon Jim McColl's Clyde Blowers empire in 2014, was nationalised last year after collapsing into administration in the wake of the dispute. At the weekend, Mr. McColl, who blames CMAL, said he wanted to give evidence at the inquiry and be questioned under oath, as everyone who gives testimony to it should. He also raised concerns that several former Ferguson Marine executives would not be able to take part in the probe as they had signed non-disclosure agreements, NDAs, with the Scottish Government. The 2 CalMac ferries at the centre of the row are £100 million over budget and will now be around 4 years late. In an interview with the BBC, Mr. Hobbs dismissed previous claims by Mr. McColl as urban myths. He said the dual-fuel ferries were not prototypes and rejected claims that CMAL had made hundreds if not thousands of design changes. He said, that simply did not happen. Mr. Hobbs also said Ferguson started building the ferries before the design stage was finished. He said, very simply, the design was still going on when the steel cutting was happening and effectively the shipyard was designing the vessel and building the vessel at risk, and that was a fundamental flaw. Elsewhere, he told the BBC that a £66 million compensation claim against CMAL by Ferguson last year was basically a work of fiction. He added, we refuted that in its entirety and in my career I have never, ever seen that happen before. Mr. McColl previously claimed the 2 CalMac ferries should be scrapped and started again. He said the ships would take longer to complete than the Scottish Government said, while costs could rise further. He added, you'd be better building from scratch and to a design that's more suited to what's needed. They could probably build 3 smaller vessels for less than £100 million and it would give them more flexibility. Mr. Hobbs dismissed this as totally incorrect. Finance Secretary Derek Mackay told MSPs in December that the final cost of sourcing the vessels from what is the last civilian shipyard on the Clyde would be around double the original fixed-price contract of £97 million. He blamed disastrous mismanagement by the previous owners. There is now an 80% chance the boats will be delivered in winter 2021 and autumn 2022 For more on this story, visit the news article link.